of it. There's so many issues to look at in this story. Talk about people not kind to others. Talk about people always wanting to point out what is not working in the life of other people. Talk about family pressure, societal pressure, all of these things in one. May the soul of this lady rest in peace, because I can only, this is such a very, very bitter story.
Because I can attest to that, because I've been a survivor. I'm actually a survivor of depression, so, and I just want to tell people what they can do. Basically, depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. So if you have that kind of feeling, there are some people that situations in life can really affect so badly. There are some people that have that particular fragile nature. Things affect them quickly and deeper than most other people. There are some people you can come and give a slap, or they're like, oh, and they move on. But there are others, oh, you slapped me, and the person is going to dwell on it. Oh, you talk to me badly, and the person is going to dwell on it for days, and you're like, why are you dwelling on this? That person has signs of going into depression, and the family members should look out for such kind of things. I've been a survivor, so I know that there are a lot of ways you can prevent it, and there's a lot of things that you can do. One of the fastest way to prevent being in that depressive mood is to challenge your negative thoughts. Challenge it, because it's those negative thoughts that keep sending you down into a hole. And then don't isolate yourself. Find something that you can do that will make you happy. If you don't want, because I always want to isolate myself. I always want to be on my own. I don't want to relate with anybody, with people. But I thank God that I had children. It helps when you have children, because they make you want to be happy. They do things that will make you happy. It's also good when you have, you're married, people around you. And then another thing, if you don't want people around you, pets make people happy. Get a dog. Go into gardening. Gardening makes you happy. In fact, science has proven that when you're gardening, there is this happy chemical that is triggered in your brain that alters your mood. So there are many things that can be done to prevent that. You can do self-help things that you can do to prevent depression, because we live in a society where everything can just make you feel depressed, but you've got to help yourself.
Patricia, thank you so much for that. Yes, you've got to help yourself. So there are some people who are just very introverted in nature.
Yes.
I used to be that person that, initially, I used to have this thing where I was very, very restless growing up as a child. I really did not like being around people, because for some reason I have somebody telling me, oh, you just want to be everywhere, This is just who I am. So somewhere along the line, my teacher noted this and spoke to my mom. I had different kind of sections to just talk to me about this. And at some point I felt like, okay, since this is what people think, I don't want to be around people. I just want to be in the comfort of my own.
Yes.
I became an introvert.
Yes.
Growing up, I started having to talk to people even when it's not comfortable for me. So sometimes my friends used to tell me that I had this fixed mouth. So even when it's not comfortable, I was like, okay, yes, hi. But I know deep down inside of me, I would rather do something else than be in that position at that time. Now, talk about some people now, Bookie, know how to manage it very well, that when they get outside, they can smile, laugh, but when they get into closed doors, so many other things happen. And friends and families do not know where to come in. They really do not know the true picture of what they're trying to help this person out with.
Yeah. I really feel for the family and, of course, her friends. I also understand, she's very active, in religious activities, So I really feel sorry for everyone. But like I keep saying, and honestly, Patricia had set the way forward. I don't normally like to dwell in the past. Now it's okay. It has happened. Can people learn from this? What are the new things that people should begin to learn? Patricia had said it, and it's coming from survival of depression. I was very close to it also, because in life we have come to know that it cannot be that rosy. Like a rose, it has the flower, it has the thorns. So when it thorns, what happens? What do you do? They have said trauma is something that you experience personally. For instance, two women or two men
Okay.
can lose their loved ones, but how they respond individually differs. Maybe somebody, has been able to master their emotions and everything is going on with his mental health, and he just moves on within 1 year.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's someone that like the whole world has crumbled. He cannot even gain back himself. You cannot blame that one to say, after all, let's get to this and he has moved on. No. The way we respond to issues are different. It's just like somebody who has malaria. Both of you have malaria. You see this one is always kicking up and down the whole place. Are you sure that this one has malaria? So
True.
in life, we need to understand that is why I like what we do here, that we educate people, because some people do not know. You understand? So we have to educate them. And back to the question you are saying, that yes, we tend to be, outside, we're good to go, everybody, blah blah blah. Like we got, I don't know if it's true, but like she was crowned. I've forgotten the name of her country. I think it was the day before, a day after, or second day after that she committed suicide. Even after winning the crown, you understand? So we need to understand what is happening. For them, they might have their coping mechanism well. But you see, somebody who is studying them well will know that something is wrong, because what they will say at times, some little words they will say at times, you might let it go, but you will not let it go. Particularly when you see that there are some situations. Look at this lady now. I do not know how she reacts at work. I'm sure later on we'll begin to get to know how she reacts at work, what happened around that time. It could be, she could be a jolly person, Esther and Patricia.
Yes.
But maybe something happened. She has coped with it. I understand she's 45,
7.
Single and whatever. We do not know. It could be that maybe at this time somebody said something that, okay, we're going to get married, and then somewhere along the line the man jilted her. I do not know. Or it could be that somebody said something that, can I come and play with your children? Or I said, no, you can't come and play with my children. No, I'm going to have yours. You understand? So where am I going?
So comments like that.
There are some comments we make. There are some comments we make that you think it's just there, but the way they will respond to that comment, goes a long way. We do not know what happened, but I'm sure that by the time we begin to investigate and unravel it, we won't be able to pick one or two things. But bottom line is this: Patricia has said it. Way forward, because we do not know who is listening. It happens. Even at times, it might not necessarily get to the point where you are tilting towards depression, but you are sad. There are some days that things will not just go well for you. This is where we talk about emotional intelligence.
Yes.
And everybody must know it, how to control your emotions. Because if you do not control it, it will get to a point where your emotions will begin to control you. And it now begins to degenerate over time to depression, because you are always sad. So what we are telling people is, when you are sad, know those triggers, what makes you sad, and immediately take charge. You are the master of your feelings. Take charge. Don't dwell on it. See it as if, somebody came to put a hot stove under you. What do? You don't sit on it. What do? You get up and you move. So see it like that, okay, what are the things that I love to do? Patricia talked about gardening. Some people will even say, invest in somebody's life. Make somebody happy. Look at the things that you love. Some of them will even actually go to adopt. You understand? So look at the things that you love that gives you happiness. Like the other day, somebody said, when I'm just sad, what do? I just leave the house and I go to a friend's place. Or I just, so that person has been able to say, okay, what are my coping mechanisms? And you do it. For me, when I'm tired and everything, what I do? I just drop everything and I go to Netflix. I just watch a movie that I know will make me laugh. And before I know what is happening, I'm okay. So everybody must know what gives them that joy, what gives them that happiness. And then when they know it, let's also talk to ourselves, the society, pressure from the society.
Yes.
If you don't have to get to a point where people will begin to recognize you because you are Mrs. This or you have children. So those that don't have, let's embrace them, let's love them, let's say good and kind words to them, because that little word you say honestly can damage people. And then once you do so well, at work, do not say, oh, because you do not have a husband.
Yes, you see that particular one.
That you are not responsible. Like I said, I don't know what happened because she has a good job. So it's so money is not an issue. You understand? But the families have been able to trace it that for a while now she has been depressed. So the question is, what do we do in such instances? I keep saying it. We need to move out, and talk to people when you see that these things are there. I know Nigerians don't know how to have healthy conversations. But we must get to that where we call somebody aside and I'm not talk to me. In fact, see me as a friend. What is it? Do you want me to come around and to talk about it or whatever it is? We must get out of our comfort zone, to help people. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Buki. Yes, I'm going to take a cue from what Buki has said. Talk to people. So there was this case, I think about 3 years ago, that actually broke out on the internet. Talk to people, yeah, but yes, know who to talk to. So this particular lady, I remember this story very well. I remember vividly because I had a conversation with somebody around that time. And when conversations like this happen, talk to it is from there you get to know the kind of people that you are moving about with. Certain people, until certain things happen and they are in that space where they have to analyze it and you're wondering, oh really, you have this mindset? Oh, thank God I know now. So this particular lady's issue, she has been depressed for a very long time, feeling very sad. So this friend kept trying to talk to her, what's going on in your life, this, that, and all of that. This lady finally opened up to that friend, spoke to the friend about it. Not so long, this person started hearing different stories here and there about that same thing that she was sure that she confided in just this friend about, just one I told, and you could not even keep it. And the kind of society we live in, people want to say things to either make themselves feel good or to taunt you for some reasons. People started throwing these words around, telling the lady, oh, you are blah, 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 this, you think we don't know, and all of that. That was actually what now pushed that lady to take her own life. When the whole story broke out, that one said she was just trying to get people to her to get out of the mood, to get help for her, talk to a professional. Because you only know about yourself. You know what you can only speak for yourself. The next person you're telling, you don't know how the person is going to take it. You don't know how the person is going to react to it. You don't know if this person has been looking for one opportunity to just get back at this person, and you've just given it to them on team. If you find yourself, yes,
I think we need to create, that information that it's not just talk to anybody. You mentioned they talk to a professional. There are professional therapists, professional counselors. That whatever you tell them, it's secret. Yes, I totally agree. And then also we have people, around you that can actually help you as well. So you need to know who you want to talk to. You need to profile them. That's it. I totally agree. I think Patricia wants to say one thing.
Yes, I just wanted to pinpoint the fact of sometimes you don't even want to talk to anybody. It's part of the depression.
Yes, sometimes you don't want people around you. Yes,
anybody, even if they're like, oh, they want to talk to you, you don't. You just lock yourself up. You want to be isolated. You don't want anything to do with anybody because you're just fed up with life. You just want to take your own life. And that's why suicidal thoughts or suicidal ideation is part of depression. You just want to end it all. And that's why it's important for you to have a non-human material that can actually make you happy, just like the pets, just like gardening. In fact, in Japan, there's something they call forest bathing. They actually go and mix up with nature. And it actually, because we were born to be with nature. Yes, you feel better. Just gardening, looking at a plant grow, taking care of a plant. I I have a garden, and you don't have to have a backyard to have a garden. You can have a garden with pots, containers.
Yes.
You can have a vegetable garden, pots and containers in front of your balcony. And they say that vegetables are so expensive in the market. While you can just have a bucket full of vegetables just in your balcony, and you don't have to buy this, and then it will make you happy. So it's very important. And another thing I want to say is family members. Family members are key. Because there's a family history to depression, whether you understand it or not. There's a family history. So family members are key. When you notice a kind of behavior that has been in your former ancestry generation, a cycle, then family members have to come in and do something. I always blame family members because family helped me a lot. Because they knew that there was a history of that, and they made sure I was never alone. Even when I wanted to be alone, they made sure I was never alone. Oh, somebody has to be with her. Thankfully I had my children. But supposing you are single, you don't have to. Family members have to rise up and then counseling, a lot of counseling. Going to church or having the church people, the pastors, they help
having people around.
Yes. Bombarding you with love and identifying with you is so key.
Yes,
so key.
I'm actually very glad, Patricia, that you got help in your time. Another point, you see, this conversation we're having, for every point you raise, there are two sides to it.
Yes.
Now, as family members, in as much as family members, yes, be around this person, try as much as possible, just show them all of the love you've got. Some people, when you are so much in their space that they cringe, they'll just shut you out. They feel like you are intruding too much, Bookie, if you understand what I mean.
No, I do. I get your point.
They feel like you are intruding too much and they shut you out. At that point,
person is loved family member, loved them.
See, this thing is a thing of the mindset. At that point, they are not seeing you as that loved one that they know. They just see you as an intruder who wants to come and invade their space for no reason. And they just want to shut you out. Like, if they feel like you're applying too much pressure, what I would actually advise...
I totally agree with you that some family members do that. And honestly, those that do that, it's just because of their own experiences, what they're also going through. Probably they're also going through their own challenges and things like that. And then here comes somebody that, okay, maybe weekends when she's not at work, okay, she comes for the weekend, and it was like, look, myself, I've not even finished my own. You are coming. But that's why we are educating ourselves.
Yeah.
That let's get to the point where we want to help ourselves. It's a sacrifice. We have to give it. We have to do that. Sometimes that even myself, I am so tired and whatever it is, and when I get a call, I immediately know that I have to get up. I have to leave that tired zone and help somebody out, because what I can say to that person can help somebody.
Yes.
You understand? Can help somebody. That is why we are educating ourselves today. That are you that family member? Are you that friend? Are you that neighbor? You don't even have to have a blood relation. Maybe that neighbor. Because you see, many are times, and Patricia can bear me witness, at times that you'll be able to spot your safe zone. You'll be able to spot your safe zone. So if you know that this friend is your safe zone in Canada or wherever it is, that anytime I call this my friend, she helps me out. So that person should know. You understand that? Oh, I'm a safe zone to that person. So I don't have to create fear in that person. So maybe at that time, she calls the safe zone, and that person was not around. That, oh, I beg, share your matter. Don't worry, I'll call you later.
No.
And it's a mood swing. It just switches, and then you now say, oh, my safe zone does not even want me. So why am I here? Let's end it. So we need to understand, when people begin to come to us, that means they are beginning to see us as a safe zone. So do not let us push them. Let's rise up to the occasion. Let's be responsible. Responsibility, like I say, is your ability to respond. I know everybody has their issues, but we don't want anybody to die and commit suicide anymore.
I think one last thing, adding to what Buki has said, one last thing. I think suicidal ideation, suicidal thoughts, and suicide it hasn't been a part of the African community.
Because we see it's actually very possible that we've had it, but the conversation has not necessarily
it
been
hasn't
there.
always been there
Okay.
because of community. And we're losing community. We're losing it.
Yes, we don't have
because
that
of modern
yes.
civilization. Can you imagine somebody just...
You don't even know your next door
You
neighbor.
don't know your next door neighbor.
True, I
It
agree.
wasn't like that those days. Let's bring back community. Let's
No,
bring
we
back that
live in a
African
society of mind
heritage
your
that we-
business these
No, but
days.
it's not so good. It's not helping us. We're born to be in a community where the African heritage that we always had helped us a lot. It helped
Yes,
us a
I'm
lot.
telling you, yes, it does.
This
It
modern civilized everybody, you don't want to talk
your
to anybody.
space,
In your
yes.
space, you don't want to go. It's not helping us psychologically and
I'm
otherwise.
telling you, I know somebody that she's always looking for Saturday, Sunday. She's always
Snob
looking for
people, you snob. You
She
want to be on your
said
own.
for her,
want to talk.
Saturday and Sunday, she just wants to laugh. She just wants to laugh. So she has been able to say a coping mechanism.
Yeah, true.
It's going to be well with all of us.
Yeah.
Yes, if you find yourself in this space where you feel you're confused about a lot of things and you don't want to talk to family members, you can actually talk to a professional. You can reach Coach Eita or Iyotim, who is a psychologist, a therapist, and a life coach. You can send her a text or a WhatsApp message on 0808 756 0008. I'll take it again. 0808 756 0008. Yes, you can reach Coach Eita or Iyotim. Just send her a message, a text, or a WhatsApp message. She's definitely going to respond to you. Please speak up when you find yourself in such situations. Speak up. You might actually never tell who it is that is going to be your happy place to just take you out of that mood, because trust me, at the end of everything, it's not worth it taking your own life at all. It is not an option. Suicide should not be an option at all. It is 28 minutes to 10 on Women Radio WFM 91.7, and this is Panorama. Panorama is where we have the ladies from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss, dissect, and disagree on topical issues. My name is Esther Laribe, and I'll be speaking with Patricia and Buki this morning. This is Panorama.
You're listening to the voice of women. It's not just talk, but it will take you and play everything and improve and better. They keep wondering, how I'm a star. Sometimes you slow me down, but I'm a target. Yes, I'm a target. Every expectation, my success to the twin. I'm on the back of this cross. It's only my dose. For the so we
Get and stay connected to the Wi-Fi network for unlimited internet experience that keeps you one step ahead in all your browsing needs. Spectranet, the Wi-Fi network.
You need money, business money, school fees money, anything money, house rent money, money to hold money, you want to invest your money, anything money.
For personal or business loans or to earn great interest on your savings, visit rainmoney.com or call 0700 5500. Need money, rain money.
Radio Doctor on WFM 91.7 every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. brings you medical experts specialized in women's health.
Just come forward on your day 14, you will ovulate.
Call in to get free consultation on women's health on 07000 917 917 080-256-25455. You can send in questions, cases, and related contributions on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at WFM917. Text and WhatsApp to 070-317-56537. You can listen live online on www.wfm917.com. Radio Doctor, Nigeria's first free consultation radio health program on WFM 91.7.
I love all the music they play. It's the
It's the bomb.
It's the bomb, baby.
The best, baby. Bringing it to you live. Bringing it to you live. This is Human Radio.
91.7. It is 25 minutes to 10 on Women Radio WFM 91.7, and this is still Panorama. Panorama is where we have the ladies from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss, dissect, and disagree on topical issues. My name is Esther Alaribe, and I have with me Buki Femi Ajala and Patricia Puregold Izuchi. And today we've discussed the case of this 47-year-old lady who took her life on the account of not having a partner and not having children. And yes, we've spoken about it. If you find yourself in this situation, or you find yourself in a position where you feel the urge to speak to somebody, yes, by all means, reach out to Coach Eyitayo Iyotim, a psychologist, therapist, and a life coach. You can send her a text or a WhatsApp message on 0808 756 0008. You can also send us a text on WhatsApp, or send us a text or WhatsApp message on 070-317-56537. If you need help reaching Coach Eyitayo, or you need further help on issues relating to this, you can actually send us a text or a WhatsApp message, and we'll link you up with a professional. Suicide is not an option at all. Suicide is not an option in any way at all. Do not let anybody make you feel less of yourself. The phone lines are open 07000-917-917. You can also send us a text or a WhatsApp message on 070-317-56537. So I was just reflecting on this story, and something just came to mind. I just thought about something. So sometimes when you move around being happy, seems like you have everything under control and you are okay. Some people see it as you being overconfident, and maybe you're faking it to yourself, but you don't know if that is that person's coping mechanism. You don't know if a way that person has been able to find distraction in around whatever is going on in their lives. Allow people just be themselves. People don't have to conform to society, and people don't have to conform to what you think they should be. Yes, just allow people be themselves around you. If you're not happy with it, or you're not fine by it, find a way to cope. Don't go about trying to change people. Oh, I think you're this, I think you should be this. Oh, yes. Everybody always claims to know everything about something, but just tone it down a little bit. Having to tell people or tell a particular person something all the time, like I think you should, just tone it down a little bit, yes. And somebody's going to be somewhere saying, we only talk about these issues like this when it happen. No, here at Women Radio, we are all about breaking the culture of silence, and we keep talking about these things, and we urge you to speak up. Just find the courage, put yourself together, and reach out for help. Now we are going to be taking this one, still on insecurity. Now, some unidentified gunmen have attacked the Anambra Broadcasting Service on Onitsha station. And now, this gunmen burnt down a building, a company bus, and another vehicle parked in the premises of the station. Fine, no life was lost. But all of these sad stories coming out, today it is happening here, tomorrow it is happening there. And now it has gone as far as the Anambra Broadcasting Service. This is an attack on the media one way or the other. And we're just wondering, to what end, what do these people want to achieve with all of this mischief they're just putting together? We've had so many conversations around who is supporting or who is bankrolling these people, and we're just wondering, can we just have a lasting solution to all of this? Unidentified, or known gunmen every single time we talk about this, Patricia.
It's something that I think we're actually getting used to, and the human nature has the power to adapt. Sometimes I think that we're in a war but we're not seeing, the physical weapons and the bullets and all that. But you have to learn how to survive. And I think that because there's much insecurity, we have to learn how to survive in an insecure environment. We have to learn personal defense mechanisms so that when these things crop up, we will know what to do, how to help ourselves, because self-help is just what is key now, especially because we have said so much of what we need to do, how these things can be stopped, and we know it has a lot to do with the corruption in our governance, the type of leadership structure that we have in the nation that is causing the much insecurity. But what can we do in our personal space? We can learn defense mechanisms. We can learn how to avoid such situations, or when we see ourselves in such situations, what we can do. It's so key. It's so key. Self-help, defense mechanisms. There are security tips that you can learn on how to keep yourself calm. One of it is to keep yourself calm when such insecurities all around you.
Talking about security tips. So recently, just on Sunday here, I was in a cab, and for some reason, this man, in this society that we live in today, even when people have good intentions, you're not sure if it's just about good intentions. And I'm very sure that when a lot of my friends hear this, they'll laugh at me, but yes, this is it. This cab driver tried as much as possible to give me something. He kept trying to give me something to eat. Do you want this? No. Do you want this? No. Would you have this? At a point, I had to start sending messages to my friends like, okay, I'm going to be sharing my location with you at this point because I feel very, very uncomfortable. Because why is this driver trying so hard to give me something to eat? Why? So many times he will be like, do you want this? No. Do you want this? No. At a point, I stopped engaging him. Because why are you trying so hard to give me something? What's your plan? What exactly are you pointing out? I was uncomfortable till I got to my destination. At a point, my friends were making jest of me, like, oh, why you get to see? I get to talk about these things every day. And in my subconscious, it is there that these things actually happen. But security measures, you really cannot. How much can an ordinary man do for himself? Talk about the people on the street. You go out on the street, you go to buy stuff. You probably see a new shop that's just setting up. You don't know who owns it. Maybe for some reason it has been set up for some other ulterior motives. You don't even know. So how do we tell?
You have to find a way to help yourself because there's nobody there to help you. There's nobody. The government, the insecurity is there, and there's nobody. Government, society is not doing enough. So you have to find a way to help yourself, and that is why I talk about self-defense techniques. You have to carry that. Part of it is calmness, being calm in the face of crisis, because it will help you. I believe in offering solutions. It will help you think ways of escape. There are many self-defense techniques, and personally, I'm learning a lot of it because I've been in situations of insecurity, and I had to quickly use one of those things. It bailed me out.
But you know, people are different, right?
When you don't have security around you, when the police is not there to help you, to come to your aid, when you have to find a way to help yourself. It's all about looking inwards and training yourself, getting information to keep yourself safe, because nobody's going to do that for you. Everybody's afraid. Nobody's going to do that for you.
But yes, I'm still going to say, Bookie, taking a cue from what Patricia said. So Patricia mentioned that, yes, you have to be. My own first instinct might tell me run. And some people want to just wait and observe and see what exactly is going to play out. We are different people. So you cannot say because this works for you, it's going to work for everybody. Let's take this call coming in. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Grandma.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Grandma. How are you doing too?
Fine, thank you. I salute everyone and
thank you, Grandma.
Thank you, Grandma.
Is it Patricia or Felicia?
Patricia.
You're welcome.
Patricia.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Grandma.
My prof. Talking about security and risk. You know, what you just said about yourself now, that time I was trying to give you something to eat and texting your friends. You see, we have ourselves with our security risk because they are not supposed to laugh. They're supposed to be serious. You know, it's like they should have been telling you, oh yeah, get down, oh the next stop, and don't follow him again. You know, but it's not fair. It's not good. We ourselves, we are security because it's like we don't take anything serious. That's what they did to that. Train bomb.
Abuja train. Yes, when she made it talk about it here.
When and when they talk about it, so it's not good. And then my sister there said, self-help. When you see God now, how you want to
how do you help yourself?
There are ways. There are techniques.
Because this unknown government, this unknown government, why this unknown government, for Christ's sake? It is well.
Thank you, Grandma. Yes, thank you.
There's a lot of information on how you can help yourself when you're attacked with a gun. There's a lot. Knowledge is power. Information is power. I had to assist them. How you can help yourself when you're faced with a gun. So these things are there. We have to protect ourselves. We don't have anybody who is protecting us. We have to trust God, be prayerful, and find ways to protect ourselves. That's just, key. And then advocacy. Advocacy is key. Let's tell one another. We need to stop killing ourselves. Let's start loving one another. We need to be together. We're part of each other. Live together. We have to start preaching more of love than prosperity messages. Yes, loving one another. Being there. Let's not kill ourselves. We're just living like monsters, and it's not going to work in a community and in a society we're in. Let's preach more of loving one another, being there for one another, than you're going to be a landlord. Amen, hallelujah. I'll be a landlord next year. No, let's just go into love. That's the only way we can help our society.
All right. So you see that conversation we're going to bring up is a whole conversation on its own. Another conversation for another day. Yes, Buki, your thoughts on this issue.
I love the way you say Patricia. Okay. Let me just add my thoughts to it. I keep talking about self-responsibility. And like I said, responsibility is the ability to respond. So do you do? I totally agree that we need to begin to build self-mechanisms in us. What do I do in such a situation? I know some people that are into martial arts, how to defend myself. You understand?
Okay.
I was in a boot camp for children and I was surprised. They were teaching them, excuse me, why? I wasn't really, told me, the wife of one of the governors, she had a boot camp for children. She said, we need to defend these children because at times, these rapists and all that and all that. And that's the whole essence of it. But I don't agree from that. And that's why I also want to what Patricia is saying. But you see, God has been so good to us. It's just that at times we don't appreciate God. And I hope that we'll just spend 1 second just now to say, Father, I thank you for what you have done for me.
Yes, we're thankful.
The way God has built us, when there is danger, that survival instinct, that survival energy comes. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And you begin, your hormones begin to say, okay, do this. So it's always good also to have that deposit, that, okay, like that. So that's just said, by the way. To this Anambra issue, honestly, my heart goes out to the governor. Because it looks as if they want to make that state ungovernable for him. And I know we have discussed it once, and I said, you know what? It's not new for him. So he cannot say, oh, it's coming at a time that I never expected. No. He knew the problems. And he decided to go for an election. And he won. Hoping that the people who brought him in, hoping that he will be able to solve the problem.
Okay.
So my own twist to it is the fact that you've got to govern Anambra properly. So you cannot say all the time you are using, to solve the issue. Because these issues, if you don't tackle it properly, it will keep up. The last time was when they went to go and behead,
a lot
and put it in Chisco Park, and how they were burning and all that. Now they have now attacked media. They don't want media to talk again. So that means that there's something that Soludo and his cabinet should find out. These people, they cannot continue to tell us unknown. They cannot be unknown. These people, they should be able with intelligence to know who they are, right?
Yes.
And understand what is the agitation. There is something, what do they want?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, no matter what war you find, at the end of the day, you still come back to the negotiation table. You understand? So it has to be a win-win situation. What exactly do they want? And it is only when you understand what they want, you can now say, oh, okay, can we negotiate this thing? Because it's getting too much.
It is.
And then I also know there are times you've got to do what you have to do as a leader to bring peace, to your community.
All right.
I wanted to add advocacy. Advocacy is so key.
Okay.
Peacekeeping is key because stemming from what Buki said, they want something. What do they want? We need to all come at the negotiating table. Let's talk peace. Let's sit down, all of us. Let's know what is agitating everybody. Why is everybody wanting to kill each other? Why is there so much insecurity? Let's talk. Diplomacy, peacekeeping. United Nations, there's this peacekeeping security forces, and they believe a lot in women, and I believe that women can do a lot in peacekeeping. Let's sit down and talk. All these people there are children. They have mothers. They have mothers. They have wives, and we can all come together. The women can come together, sit with these people and talk with them. And when women talk to all these people that have weapons and all, they are softer. They become softer. And I think that's the solution. Let's all come together and talk and let's see how we can help ourselves, because we don't want to kill.
We don't want the killings.
We don't want the
Needless.
killings.
They're actually very needless. All right. Thank you so much, Buki. Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you
for a lovely time. And like I always say, let's keep hope alive. Let's do what we need to do in our own sphere of influence. All the time, we cannot just be government. We are also government to our family, to our local government,
exactly.
to the people we are around. Let's do what is right. And I know that Nigeria will be saved. Nigeria will be changed, and we will be good again.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Buki. Yes, thank you so much, Patricia, for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. I'll wrap up by saying that with all of this insecurity happening, let's do what we can in our own space. That loud in your area, that child in your area, that person in your area who is always wanting to do the wrong thing. Just be friends with that person. Talk to the person. It could actually just be your words to that person. Find out what goes on in their mind. Find out how their mindset works. Find out what makes them do the things that they want to do. That is when you can start talking to them, because it no concern you. One day if it be you. So that is more reason why we need to begin to talk about this and condemn all of these acts, because this is where it starts from. You see your neighbor's child who goes about picking pockets and doing things, and you just ignore it, doesn't concern you. One day it might just be your own pocket. Woo! Quite an amazing episode, I must say. Thank you so much for joining us. Do want to join us again tomorrow at 9:05. Thank you for your call, Grandma Lainka. Do have a lovely day and stay tuned on Women Radio WFM 91.7. My name is Esther Alaribe. Good morning.
To sponsor this program, call the number 0816 480